number of organizations that are successful, but what kind of environment and mindset do those organizations have governing their culture? Welcome back. My name is Nuttall, and this is Internal Audit Hacks. So last week I discussed and talked about organizations that have a fixed mindset, and I gave you some examples to understand, and hopefully you can now recognize some of those in your workplace or in the workplace of your clients. There's an increasing body of research that when you bring it together, suggests that an organization to be truly successful must have a number of things in place. And this includes clarity around its purpose, commitment and engagement from its people, keeping up with the times and trends of its industry. Its systems and processes must have sufficient agility and flexibility that is able to respond to the external environment as well as the internal environment. I increasingly come across organizations that want and aspire to be more agile in the way they work. So for auditors and those of you who advise clients, I think this is very simple. We must first understand how our client approaches growth. So how we understand growth mindsets in organizations, and it's all in the name, right? Growth. How does your organization grow? In what way do they grow? You might say to me, Cami, that's easy. I just need to look at their financial statements, read their accounts, and I can tell you if they are growing year on year. And you'd be right. But that's not actually what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how they grow. So how do they learn to enable growth? Fundamentally, how do they take decisions that are learning-led that enable growth? So some examples of organizations that demonstrate a growth mindset. So these you will recognize, they will resonate with you. So the first one on the top of the list is Apple. They innovate, they respond to the external environment, they lead with the way they innovate, right? Google is another example. And what I find interesting with Google is that they very recently conducted some research to understand within their organization how comfortable their workforce is in different teams, how comfortable they were to actually speak up about things. I was at Vodafone last week and I heard about agile methods, about the innovations that they are pursuing. They are more than what they seem. In the area of artificial intelligence, they work with statisticians, mathematicians. They demonstrated their openness to learning to enable growth. So some examples of ways of working that you might want to have a look out for. And by no means is this exhaustive list. So agile methods is at the top of my list. Agile methods that lead with digital transformation. So there's a lot of that going on. Making purpose meaningful. And when you make purpose meaningful, then you've got to think about meaningful values and meaningful behaviors that enable strategy and business plans. The HBR example I gave last week about fixed mindsets, well, the same article talks about growth mindset, and the example being that actually organizations that demonstrate growth mindset hire from within, or tend to hire from within, because we're growing and developing our existing people. Openness and transparency in the organization. It is open to failure because failure presents an opportunity to learn. And we keep coming back to learning. Managers who pay attention and listen. They also show willingness to learn from mistakes without assigning blame is another indicator. Learning and development activities within an organization that starts with a growth mindset philosophy. All of these are just examples that I've come across, but certainly you will have your own. Now, the reality in the workplace is that there will be a mix of growth and fixed mindsets. And this is because those who lead will influence what follows. And the what includes people. It includes processes. It includes systems. How we do things around here will be influenced by the mindset of those who set the standards. As this series unfolds, I will talk more about these sorts of things and help you understand your organization, your clients' culture. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. I'm having a lot of fun creating the content for you. I would love to know what you think. If there's a particular subject you want exploring in relation to mindset, just drop me a line. I would love to connect with you. So please come and find us, me and others, in the Internal Audit Hacks group within Facebook. So just type that in and you'll come and find us. Next week, I'm going to talk a little bit about why we do things, why we do what we do, why you do what you do, and why that's important. Have a splendid week. Have a fabulous day ahead, and I will see you next week.